My name is Serena Brown, 28 years old. The day my parents read my wedding invitation, my father looked me in the eye and said, "We're not watching you ruin your life on a piece of trash with that kind of history." My mother sneered. His mother was a drunk who dumped him at a bus station when he was 8. What kind of worthless man does that make him? You're better than this garbage. They sent the invitation back with one word: no. Told my siblings to boycott too. On March 28th, 2026, I walked down the aisle of St. Catherine's Church completely alone. No father, no mother, just 200 guests staring at a bride with no family. Halfway down, the back door creaked open. A woman in a blue dress stepped in. Nathan, the man my parents called damaged goods, looked up and collapsed to his knees. My parents thought they knew exactly who they were rejecting. They were wrong, and what walked through that door next would make their boycott explode in their faces and turn my wedding into something the whole world would never forget. Before I tell you what happened that day, if this story already hits close to home, please hit the like button and subscribe, and let me know in the comments. Have you ever been rejected by your own family on one of the most important days of your life? Drop where you're watching from right now. Let me take you back to mid-February, when the RSVP cards started arriving, and my family made their choice crystal clear. The RSVP cards started arriving in mid-February. Most came back with happy checkmarks under accepts with pleasure. Kelly, my best friend and maid of honor, sent hers back with a drawing of champagne glasses and "cannot wait" written in all caps. Nathan's union brothers, the guys he'd worked alongside for 10 years running electrical in Boston, sent theirs back promptly. Every single one checked yes. Then my family's cards arrived. February 12th. I remember because it was a Tuesday, and I'd taken the afternoon off specifically to go through RSVPs with Nathan. We were sitting at his kitchen table, the cheap IKEA one he'd bought when he first got his own place, with a spreadsheet open on my laptop. Green for yes, red for no, yellow for waiting. I opened the first envelope. My mother's handwriting. Carolyn Brown, Raymond Brown. I already knew what it would say, but some part of me hoped I was wrong. Under declines with regret, my mother had checked the box. No note, no explanation. Just that one checkmark and her signature. The second envelope, Mitchell and Diane Brown, my brother. Also no. The third, Audrey Brown and guest. My sister. No. 3 red cells on my spreadsheet. 3 members of my immediate family. 0 explanation. Nathan saw my face. "Babe?" I couldn't speak. I just turned the laptop around so he could see. 3 red cells in a sea of green. My entire family section, blank. He reached across the table and took my hand. Didn't say anything. Just held it while I stared at those cards. At my mother's perfect cursive spelling out our names. At the boxes checked with such certainty. My phone rang 20 minutes later. Mom. I should have let it go to voicemail. I didn't. Hello? Serena, we got your invitation. My mother's voice was tight, the voice she used when she was trying to sound reasonable while delivering something unreasonable. And? I kept my voice flat. We're not coming. We can't support this. Support what? My marriage? I heard movement. A click. Then my father's voice joined in, that hollow quality that meant speakerphone. They'd planned this. A united front. Don't act like you don't know what we're talking about, my mother said. That man is trash, Serena. His mother was a drunk who dumped him at a bus station like garbage. What kind of worthless man comes from that? The words hit like a physical blow. Trash. Garbage. Worthless. These were words my mother used for actual trash, for things she threw away, not for people. Never for people I loved. Nathan is a good person, I said, voice shaking. He works hard. My father cut me off. He's an electrician with a dead-end job and a family history of abandonment. You think that doesn't stick? You think he's not damaged goods? Damaged goods, like a dented can at the grocery store. We didn't work this hard to watch you throw your life away on a piece of trash, my mother continued. You're better than this garbage, Serena. You're calling the man I love garbage. I stood up, had to move. Nathan was watching me, concern written all over his face. If the shoe fits, my father said. His mother left him. That tells you everything about what kind of stock he comes from. Stock. Like he was livestock being evaluated. We're sending the invitation back, my mother said, voice cold now, all pretense of gentleness gone. And we're telling Mitchell and Audrey not to go either. We won't be part of this mistake. Something inside me snapped. What if I call it off? Would that make you happy? Silence. Long enough that I thought they might reconsider. Long enough for hope to flicker. Then my mother. Yes, it would. I hung up. Nathan was standing now, arms open. I walked into them and just stood there, breathing, trying not to cry. The call had lasted 14 minutes. 14 minutes for my parents to dismantle any fantasy I'd had that they might see what I saw in him. What did they say? Nathan asked quietly. I pulled back, looked at him. At this man who'd survived being abandoned at 8 years old, who'd put himself through trade school, who'd built a life from nothing, who showed up to work every day, who was kind to waitstaff and remembered my favorite coffee order and called his grandmother every Sunday until she died. They called you trash, I said. They said you're damaged goods, that your mother leaving you makes you worthless, that you're a dead end. His face did something complicated. Pain. Then a mask sliding into place. That careful blankness he wore when something hurt too much to show. And what did you say? I told them I love you. That's all that matters then. I wanted that to be true. God, I wanted that to be true. But they're my parents, I said, hating how my voice broke. I wanted them to see what I see. Nathan took my face in his hands. They can't. Some people are too small to see past their own fear. He paused. Do you want to call off the wedding? Absolutely not. The words came fast, fierce. I'm marrying you, with or without them. He kissed my forehead. Then we're getting married. I need you to understand who Nathan really is, because my parents didn't bother to find out. Nathan Hartley, 32 years old, born February 14th, 1994. Valentine's Day baby, though there was nothing romantic about his childhood. His mother, Joanna, was 18 when she had him. Fresh out of high school, working at a convenience store, already drinking more than she should. Nathan doesn't remember much before age 5. What he does remember comes in fragments. Moving a lot. 6 different apartments before he turned 8. His mother's boyfriends. Men whose names he can't recall, but whose voices he remembers. Loud, angry, sometimes kind, but never for long. The smell of cigarettes and cheap beer. Mornings when he'd find his mother passed out on the couch, and he'd make himself cereal because he was hungry, and she wouldn't wake up. He told me all this on our 3rd date. We were at a diner, one of those 24-hour places with red vinyl booths and coffee that tastes like it's been sitting since yesterday. It was 2 in the morning. We'd gone to a movie, then just kept talking. Didn't want the night to end. My mom tried, Nathan said, stirring sugar into his coffee. I remember that. She'd have good weeks. She'd be clean for a while, make pancakes on Saturday mornings, chocolate chip. She'd braid my hair. I had it longer when I was little. We'd watch cartoons. She'd call me her little man. He smiled at the memory, but it was sad. Then she'd disappear for days. I'd go stay with my grandmother, Dorothy, my mom's mom. Then my mom would come back. Promise it was different this time. Take me home. The cycle would repeat. How long did that go on? Until I was 8. He told me about August 23rd, 2002, a Tuesday. His mother took him to the Worcester Greyhound station. She bought him a king-size Snickers bar. He remembers that detail with absolute clarity. She sat him down on the blue plastic seats at Gate 6, 2:15 in the afternoon. "Wait here," she told him. "I'll be right back." She walked to the bathroom. Nathan sat there, eating his Snickers, watching people come and go. Buses pulling in and out. Announcements over the crackling speaker system. After 41 minutes, he counted. He started to worry. He asked the clerk, a woman named Brenda with kind eyes and a tired face, if she could check the bathroom. Maybe his mom was sick. Brenda found a note tucked into Nathan's jacket pocket. Dunkin' Donuts napkin, his mother's handwriting. "I can't be the mom you need. Grandma will take care of you. I'm sorry." That was it. No goodbye. No explanation. Just a napkin and an empty promise that she'd be right back. Dorothy picked him up 3 hours later. She was 61 years old, worked overnight custodian shifts at a hospital, and cleaned houses during the day. She should have been thinking about retirement. Instead, she became a full-time mother to an 8-year-old boy who'd just been abandoned at a bus station. "Grandma never said a bad word about my mom," Nathan told me. "Not once. She just said, 'You're staying with me now. For good.' And I did." Dorothy raised him in a 2-bedroom apartment in Worcester. Small, clean, safe. She made sure he did his homework, made sure he had hot meals, made sure he understood that his mother's choices weren't his fault. Nathan graduated high school with a 3.6 GPA. Could have gone to college if there had been money, but there wasn't. Dorothy had saved what she could, but it wasn't enough for university. So Nathan chose trade school. 2-year electrical program. "I'm good with my hands," he said. "Always have been. And electricians make decent money. Steady work." He graduated in 2014, got his license, started working under Dale Henderson, a master electrician who taught Nathan everything about the trade: how to wire a house, how to read blueprints, how to show up on time and do the job right. 10 years later, Nathan makes $68,000 a year. He owns his tools, $4,800 worth of equipment he's accumulated over a decade. He owns his truck, a 2007 Ford F-150, paid off. He has savings. Not a lot, but $7,200 he'd put aside over 18 months specifically for our wedding. He volunteers at a youth center on weekends, teaching basic electrical safety to kids. He tips well. He remembers birthdays. He called his grandmother every Sunday without fail until she died in September 2020. Dorothy's death broke something in Nathan. She'd been his constant, the person who showed up when everyone else left. Heart failure, 79 years old. She went to sleep one night and didn't wake up. We met 3 years later, summer of 2023. Same gym, both regulars. I'd noticed him before. Quiet, kept to himself, always polite to the staff. One day my locker jammed. Nathan helped me fix it with a piece of wire from his gym bag. "Electrician," he explained, smiling. We got coffee after our workout. Then coffee became regular. Then coffee became dinner. Then dinner became everything. 6 months in, I knew I'd marry him. 18 months in, I told my parents. That's when everything broke. If you're listening to this and thinking about hitting skip, don't. Because what happened next is why this story matters. Hit that like button, though. You're going to want to remember where you heard this. February through March was a strange kind of hell. Planning a wedding while knowing your family won't attend. Checking off tasks that suddenly feel hollow. Book the church? Check. St. Catherine's? A beautiful old Catholic church in Boston, with stained glass windows and wooden pews that smell like furniture polish and decades of prayers. Reserve the reception venue? Check. Union Hall, 3 blocks from the church. Nathan's union brothers offered it at cost, $850 instead of the usual $3,000. Order the cake? Check. 3 tiers. Vanilla with raspberry filling, $485. Choose the dress? Check. Maggie Sotero, ivory lace, $1,850. I cried in the dressing room, not because the dress was beautiful, but because my mother wasn't there to see it. Every decision came with an asterisk. Every deposit felt like defiance. The guest list was the worst part. I'd sent 68 invitations total. By early March, we had 200 confirmed guests. But the math was ugly. My side, 24 people. Kelly, my maid of honor. 4 bridesmaids. College friends who'd known me long enough to ignore my parents' boycott. My cousin Lily, 16 years old, who defied her parents to come. Aunt Beth, my mom's sister, who'd called me crying to say she was coming no matter what Carolyn said. A handful of coworkers from the Veterans Hospital where I work as an occupational therapist. 24 people. Nathan's side, 176 people. His union brothers and their families. Dale Henderson, the electrician who'd trained him. Connor Walsh, his best man. Friends from trade school. Neighbors. The kids from the youth center and their parents. 176 people who'd never met me but were showing up because Nathan asked. The visual was going to be brutal. Bride's side, mostly empty. Groom's side, packed. Julia Montgomery, our wedding planner, suggested removing the family reserved signs from my side. Serena, she said gently, it might be easier if we just don't call attention to it. We were sitting in her office looking at the seating chart. 3 seats in the front row, bride's side, marked, reserved family in elegant script. Leave them, I said. Sweetheart, leave them. I want those seats there, reserved, just in case they change their minds. Julia looked at me with something like pity. In 15 years of planning weddings, I've never seen family come around this close to the date. Then I'll be the first. I knew I wouldn't be. But I couldn't bring myself to remove those seats. Some stupid, hopeful part of me needed them there, needed my parents to have the option, even if they'd never take it. March 10th. Final dress fitting. The seamstress, a Ukrainian woman named Olga with no-nonsense efficiency and warm hands, had to take the dress in 2 inches at the waist. You losing weight? She said, pins in her mouth. You need to eat, darling. Bride should glow, not fade. I'd lost 8 pounds in 6 weeks. Stress weight. Couldn't stomach food most days. The wedding was 18 days away, and I was hollowing out. Kelly was there for the fitting. She took one look at me in that dress, beautiful, expensive, perfectly altered, and pulled me aside after Olga finished. Are you okay? Really? I'm marrying the love of my life. I'm fine. You're not fine. But you will be. She was right. I wasn't fine. But I would be. That night, Nathan gave me a small velvet box. Don't panic, he said, laughing. Not another ring. Inside were pearls. A simple strand, clearly vintage, the kind that come with history. They were Grandma Dorothy's, Nathan said quietly. She wore them to my graduation, to every important thing. I want you to wear them. She would have loved you. She would have wanted to be there. I put them on. They fit perfectly, cool weight against my collarbone. Thank you, I managed. You're going to walk down that aisle, Nathan said, and you're going to be the most beautiful thing anyone's ever seen. With or without your family there. March 27th, the night before the wedding. Tradition dictated Nathan and I sleep separately. I stayed at Kelly's apartment. Nathan stayed at his place. I couldn't sleep. At 1:18 a.m., I called him. Hey, he answered immediately. Voice rough like he hadn't been sleeping either. What if I walk down that aisle and I start crying and I can't stop? Then I'll walk up and meet you halfway. They're really not coming. I know, baby. I know. I don't want to hate them. You don't have to. You just have to love me more than you hate what they did. Long silence. Just our breathing, miles apart but connected by this thin thread of sound. I do, I said finally. Then that's enough. Try to sleep. Tomorrow I get to marry you. Nothing else matters. We stayed on the phone until I finally drifted off, his breathing the last thing I heard. While I was trying to plan a wedding without family, someone else was planning to attend. Joanna Hartley, 51 years old, Nathan's mother. The woman who'd left him at a bus station 23 years, 7 months, and 5 days ago. She lived in Providence, Rhode Island, 51 miles from Boston, an hour and 18 minutes by car, depending on traffic. Joanna worked as an addiction counselor at New Horizons Recovery Services. She'd been sober for 23 years, 4 months, and 11 days, as of March 28, 2026. 23 years of AA meetings, over 6,000 of them. 23 years of carrying a bronze sobriety coin in her pocket. 23 years of sponsor relationships and making amends and learning to live with what she'd done. She'd been married to Tim Russo for 11 years. Tim was a contractor, solid, kind, patient with Joanna's guilt. They had no children. Joanna had been too afraid to risk it. Afraid she'd repeat her mistakes. Afraid she'd pass on whatever brokenness had made her leave her son at a bus station. When Dorothy died in September 2020, Joanna saw the obituary online. That's when she learned Nathan's grandmother was gone. That's when she realized the restraining order Dorothy had filed against her 20 years earlier was now meaningless. That's when she started searching. It took her 3 weeks to find him. Nathan Hartley, electrician, Boston area. She created a fake Facebook account, Janet Hughes, generic middle-aged woman with a stock photo, and followed him from a distance. She watched him live his life in 280-character status updates and occasional photos. Watched him work. Watched him go to the gym. Watched him volunteer. Watched him meet someone, a woman named Serena, pretty, kind-looking. Joanna saved every photo, 83 of them in a folder on her computer labeled simply N. January 15th, 2025. Nathan posted a photo, him and Serena, her hand extended, diamond ring catching the light. She said yes. Joanna stared at that photo for an hour. Her son was getting married. She wouldn't be there. That was the deal she'd made with the universe. The price of abandonment. You leave, you lose the right to witness. But she kept watching. Watched the wedding planning posts, the venue booking, the cake tasting, the suit shopping. Watched it all from her computer screen, 51 miles away, invisible. Then, on March 2nd, 2026, Serena posted something. A simple caption under a photo of her and Nathan. Looking forward to March 28th. So grateful for everyone who's standing with us. The comments poured in. Congratulations. So excited. Can't wait. But Joanna noticed what was missing. No comments from anyone with Serena's last name. No family members. Just friends and what looked like Nathan's community. She dug deeper. Found a comment thread on one of Nathan's Union Brothers posts. Someone had written, "Can't believe her family isn't coming. Their loss." Another comment, "Brides walking solo? That's rough." Joanna's chest tightened. The bride's family wasn't attending. Serena was going to walk down the aisle alone. Just like Joanna had left Nathan alone at that bus station. Parallel abandonment. Different circumstances. Same wound. Joanna called her therapist, Dr. Lisa Vance, the next day. "I want to go to the wedding." "Joanna, I know. I know it's insane. I know he doesn't want me there. I know I have no right. But I can't." Her voice broke. "I can't let him stand there alone. Not again. You won't be ruining it for him." You'll be ruining it for yourself. He might not want you there. I know. He might be angry. I know. This might set your recovery back. I know. 12 therapy sessions. 12 hours of processing, of examining motives, of preparing for rejection, of accepting that showing up didn't equal forgiveness. March 20th, Joanna booked a hotel room in Boston. Boston Harbor Hotel. $340 a night for 2 nights. Extravagant for her budget, but symbolic. She was going to do this right. She bought a dress. Blue, modest, nothing that would draw attention. She'd sit in the back, watch from a distance, leave before the reception, just witness. Just be present for the moment she'd stolen from him 23 years ago. Tim tried to talk her out of it. What if he sees you? He asked. Then he sees me. What if he tells you to leave? Then I leave. What if this destroys you? I'm already destroyed. I've been destroyed since August 23rd, 2002. This is just me trying to witness what I should have witnessed all along. March 27th. Joanna drove to Boston, checked into the hotel, hung her blue dress in the closet, sat on the bed and stared at it. What was she doing? March 28th. Morning. Joanna woke at 6 a.m. nauseous with nerves. Couldn't eat breakfast. Walked around Boston Common, killing time, watching families, thinking about Nathan at 8 years old, waiting in that bus station, now 32, about to get married. An entire lifetime she'd missed. 12:30 p.m. She returned to the hotel, put on the blue dress, looked at herself in the mirror, barely recognized the woman staring back. 1:15 p.m. She got in her car. The wedding started at 2. She'd arrive late, slip in the back. Invisible. Just let me see him happy, she thought. Then I'll disappear. That's all I deserve. March 28th, 2026. My wedding day. I woke up at Kelly's apartment at 7 a.m. Hadn't slept well despite Nathan's voice in my ear. My stomach was twisted in knots. The bridal suite at the Sheraton Boston was booked for 9 a.m. hair and makeup at 10, photographer at noon, leave for church at 1:30. By 9:15, the suite was full. Kelly, 4 bridesmaids, Jenna, Rachel, Paige, Morgan. Cousin Lily, 16 and wide-eyed, taking photos of everything on her phone. 6 women, mimosas, pastries, music playing softly. The organized chaos of getting ready. What was missing? My mother. In every wedding I'd ever been to, the mother of the bride was there, helping with the dress, crying happy tears, fussing over details, taking photos. My mother was 51 miles away in Springfield, Massachusetts, probably having coffee, probably not thinking about me. Kim, the makeup artist, was chatty, friendly, didn't know the context. So where's your mom? She asked, blending foundation. Usually moms are hovering. The room went quiet. Kelly jumped in. She couldn't make it. Oh, that's too bad. Medical thing? Something like that, I said, voice flat. Kim kept talking, oblivious about other weddings she'd done, other mothers she'd worked with. Every word was a small knife. 11:30. Time for the dress. Normally, the mother of the bride helps with this part. 38 buttons down the back. Tiny satin-covered things that need a button hook and patience. Kelly did it. 8 minutes of careful fastening while I stood there, staring at my reflection. I looked beautiful. The dress was perfect. Dorothy's pearls glowed against my skin. I looked like a bride with no family. Lily came up behind me, voice soft. You look like a princess. I tried to smile. Thank you, sweetheart. I'm sorry about Aunt Carolyn, she whispered. She's being really dumb. I laughed. First real laugh all morning. Yeah, she really is. 11:47. My phone buzzed. Text message. Audrey, my sister. I'm sorry I can't be there. Mitchell and I wanted to come, but Mom and Dad said it would be disloyal. I hope you understand. I hope you're happy. You look beautiful. Saw Kelly's Instagram story? I wish things were different. I read it aloud. The room went silent again. Jenna, one of my bridesmaids, spoke first. That's bullshit. She's an adult. She chose. She chose them. I said quietly. I chose Nathan. We both made choices. Kelly looked at me. Do you want to respond? No. What would I even say? 12:30. The photographer arrived. Dave Chen, professional but kind-eyed. He'd shot over 200 weddings. He knew what was missing. He took the standard shots. Bride alone. Bride with bridesmaids. Bride with bouquet. Bouquet close-up. White roses. Baby's breath. Hint of lavender. What he didn't shoot? Bride with mother. Bride with father. Family formals. Those pages in the album would stay empty. 1:18 p.m. The limo arrived. White Lincoln, seats 8. We piled in, laughing, trying to keep energy up. But I was quiet, staring out the window. 15-minute drive through Boston traffic. Kelly held my hand the entire time. You don't have to do this, she said quietly, just to me. If it's too much, we can postpone. Nathan would understand. I turned to her. I'm not postponing. I'm marrying him today, with or without them. Okay, then let's go get you married. 1:33 p.m. The limo pulled up to St. Catherine's. Guests were already arriving. Happy people in their Sunday best, excited for a wedding. Not one of them my parents. I went through the side entrance straight to the bridal room, avoided everyone. Kelly fixed my veil, adjusted the train, checked my makeup. 1:58 p.m. Kelly asked one last time, Are you ready? I looked at myself in the mirror. Bride. Alone. Strong. I've never been more sure of anything. At the altar, Nathan was trying to breathe. He stood there in his suit. Charcoal gray, perfectly tailored, $1,000 he'd saved for specifically. Connor Walsh, his best man, stood beside him. 3 groomsmen, Tyler, Ben, Marcus, flanked them. Father Sullivan, 62 years old with an Irish accent that made every word sound like a blessing, gave Nathan an encouraging nod. Nathan's hands were shaking. He gripped the altar rail, knuckles white. Connor leaned in, whispered, You good? She's about to walk down that aisle alone because of me. Not because of you, because of them. Big difference, brother. Nathan looked at the front row. Bride's side, 3 empty seats. Reserved, family signs mocking in their optimism. Doesn't make it hurt less, Nathan said. The organ started, canon in D Pachelbel, the traditional wedding march. Every guest stood, turned toward the back of the church. Nathan couldn't see the doors yet. A pillar blocked his view, but he heard it, the collective intake of breath. 200 people seeing something that shouldn't be seen. A bride, walking alone. Then she appeared. Serena, ivory lace, Dorothy's pearls, veil trailing 9 feet behind her. Bouquet of white roses trembling slightly in her hands, and no one beside her. Nathan's vision blurred. He was crying before she took her first step. She was doing this. Really doing this. Walking toward him with no father's hand to steady her. No mother crying in the front row. No family at all. Just her. And 200 witnesses. And him. 82 feet of aisle. 38 steps. She counted them. He learned this later. She counted every step to keep herself from crying. 1, 2, 3. Don't look at the empty seats. 4, 5, 6. Look at Nathan. 7, 8. He's worth this. 9, 10. The guests watched in silence. Some were crying. Sarah, Connor's wife, had tears streaming down her face. Dale Henderson, Nathan's mentor, had his hand over his heart. Everyone felt it. The wrongness of it. The bravery of it. Step 19. Halfway. Serena's composure cracked. Just for a second. A single tear escaped. Kelly, following at a distance with the bridesmaids, saw it. Then, creak. The heavy oak door at the back of the church opened. Every head turned. All 200 guests, Serena, the bridesmaids, the groomsmen, Father Sullivan. Everyone turned to see who'd arrived late. A woman stood in the doorway. Blue dress, late 40s, maybe early 50s. Shaking hands, tears already on her face. The afternoon sun streamed through the door behind her, silhouetting her in light. Serena, halfway down the aisle, turned to look. Didn't recognize her. Looked at Nathan. Nathan's face had gone white. Actually white, like every drop of blood had drained from his body. His eyes were locked on the woman. His mouth opened. No sound came out. Then his legs gave out. Not a faint, not a stumble. A complete structural collapse. His knees hit the marble floor. The sound echoed through the church, a sharp crack that made people flinch. Connor lunged for him, missed. Nathan was down, on his knees, hands on the ground, staring at the woman. 8 seconds of absolute silence. Then Nathan's voice, broken and disbelieving, caught by the microphone at the altar. "Mom?" The word hung in the air. "Mom." 200 guests gasped collectively. Serena stood frozen in the middle of the aisle, still holding her bouquet, still wearing her veil, completely confused. The woman in the doorway, Joanna, took one step forward. Stopped. "Nathan," she said, voice carrying in the silence. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to disrupt. I needed to see you." Nathan was still on his knees, shaking, couldn't seem to stand. "You left me." His voice cracked. "You left me at a bus station." Every person in that church heard it. 14 people were already recording on their phones. Instinct? Drama? History? Joanna's face crumpled. I know I did." Father Sullivan stepped forward, trying to understand what was happening. "Nathan, lad, do you know this woman?" Nathan nodded, couldn't speak. "Is she family?" "She's my mother." The words came out jagged. "She abandoned me when I was 8. If the church had been silent before, now it was a vacuum. No breath, no movement." Serena made a decision. She walked backward. Not toward Nathan, toward Joanna. Reached the woman in the blue dress. Looked at her. This stranger who'd just shattered her wedding ceremony. "Are you here to hurt him?" Serena's voice was steady, protective. Joanna's eyes met hers. "No. I'm here to witness what I should have witnessed all along." Serena held her gaze for a long moment, then turned to Nathan, still on his knees at the altar. "Do you want her to stay?" Nathan looked up at Serena, at this woman who was walking toward him alone because her family rejected him. This woman who was now protecting him from his past. "I don't know," he whispered. Serena walked back to him, knelt beside him in her wedding dress, took his face in her hands. "We can stop. We can pause this. Whatever you need." Nathan shook his head. No, we're getting married. I'm not letting her ruin this too." He stood, legs shaky. Connor supported him. Serena stood too. Turned to Joanna, still standing 41 feet away in the doorway. "Sit down," Serena said, voice calm but firm. "Back row, don't move. We'll talk after." Joanna nodded, walked slowly to the back pew, left side, sat down. Father Sullivan looked at Nathan and Serena. "Shall we continue?" They looked at each other. Long moment, everything hanging in the balance. "Yes," Serena said. We're getting married. Now, I need you to understand something. Right now, if you're listening to this, you're probably thinking about your own family, your own wedges, your own people who should show up but don't. If this story is hitting you somewhere it hurts, leave a comment. Tell me I'm not alone in this, because what happened next? It's going to stay with you. The ceremony resumed, but everything had changed. The atmosphere was different, heavy, charged. The guests sat slowly murmuring, glancing back at Joanna in the back row. She sat with her hands folded, tissue pressed to her mouth, crying silently. Nathan and Serena stood at the altar. Father Sullivan opened his prayer book. Dearly beloved, he began. But Nathan kept looking back. Every few seconds. Couldn't help it. 23 years. His mother was really here. The woman who'd left him at Gate 6 of the Worcester Greyhound Station was sitting in the back of his wedding church. Impossible, but real. Father Sullivan reached the vows. Nathan, do you take Serena to be your lawfully wedded wife? Nathan turned to look at Joanna again. Nathan? Sullivan prompted gently. Nathan snapped back, looked at Serena. What? Do you take Serena to be your lawfully wedded wife? Yes, I do. I absolutely do. Serena squeezed his hands, whispered, Stay with me, right here. Just us. He nodded, tried to focus. The vows continued. Traditional, from the Book of Common Prayer, to have and to hold. For better, for worse, in sickness and in health. But Nathan's voice shook on every word. Connor fumbled getting the rings out, hands shaking from residual adrenaline. When Nathan slid the ring onto Serena's finger, his hand trembled so badly he almost dropped it. We're almost there, Serena whispered. I'm sorry, Nathan said. Don't be. Just stay. Then came the personal vows, the ones they'd written together. Nathan went first. I, Nathan, take you, Serena, to be my wife. To have and to hold, from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, until death do us part. He paused, looked at her, added the line they'd planned weeks ago. And I promise to be the family you deserve. His voice broke completely on family, because the weight of that word had just multiplied. His family, the one who abandoned him, was here. Her family, the ones who claimed to love her, was not. He couldn't finish, just stood there, crying. Father Sullivan quietly handed him a tissue. Irish linen, embroidered. Nathan took it. That's enough, Serena said softly. I hear you. Her turn. Serena spoke clearly, firmly, deviated from the traditional script. Nathan, I don't care who shows up or who doesn't. I choose you. Every day. No matter what. Pointed. Loud enough for Joanna to hear. In the back row, Joanna's shoulders shook with sobs. Father Sullivan looked at this unusual ceremony, at this bride and groom held together by something stronger than tradition, and improvised. I've married over 300 couples in this church, he said, Irish accent warm. I've never seen a bride walk alone. I've never seen a mother appear after decades. But I've also never seen love more clearly. Nathan, Serena, you two have already proven you can weather the storm. This ceremony is just making official what's already true. Murmurs of agreement from the guests. Sullivan looked out at the congregation. Is there anyone here who objects to this union? Silence. Everyone glanced at Joanna. She said nothing, just pressed her tissue to her mouth harder. Then by the power vested in me, Sullivan continued, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Nathan, you may kiss your bride. Nathan pulled Serena close, whispered before kissing her. Thank you for not running. Never, she whispered back. They kissed, longer than a typical ceremony kiss, clinging to each other. Relief, love, completion. The guests erupted. Applause, cheers, whistles. Father Sullivan raised his voice over the noise. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mr. and Mrs. Hartley. More cheers. The recessional music started. Ode to joy. Triumphant but bittersweet. Nathan and Serena walked back down the aisle as husband and wife, his arm tight around her, protective. They passed Joanna's pew. Nathan slowed, looked at her. She stood, whispered, "Congratulations." Nathan didn't respond, just kept walking. Out into the sunlight, into their marriage, into whatever came next. The next several hours blurred. Reception at Union Hall. Grand entrance to applause. First dance, Thinking Out Loud, by Ed Sheeran. Nathan held Serena close, whispered through the whole song. "I'm sorry I'm not all here." "You're here enough," she said. "That's what matters." Dinner, buffet style, casual. Nathan barely ate, kept staring at nothing, processing. Connor's best man toast. To Nathan, hardest working guy I know. And to Serena, brave enough to walk down that aisle alone and smart enough to marry him anyway. May you always show up for each other the way you showed up today. Cheers. Glasses raised. Nathan managed a small smile. Joanna didn't come to the reception. She stayed in the church after everyone left, sat in that back pew for 30 minutes, crying, then left, drove back to her hotel alone. 7:30 p.m. Nathan couldn't take it anymore. He found Serena talking to Kelly and the bridesmaids, pulled her aside. "I need to go talk to her." "Now? I can't dance and cut cake while she's out there. I need to know why." Serena cupped his face. "Then go. I'll be here when you get back." Nathan walked 3 blocks back to St. Catherine's, found Joanna and Tim sitting on the church steps. She stood when she saw him. "You're still here," Nathan said. "You told me not to leave." "I did." They stared at each other, mother and son, 23 years of distance between them. "I don't know what to say to you," Nathan said finally. "You don't have to say anything. I'll talk. You listen, or you leave. Your choice." Nathan sat on the step, not next to her, 3 feet away. "Talk." Joanna told him everything, about the addiction, about the boyfriends, about the failures, about Dorothy calling after finding him at the bus station, screaming at Joanna, telling her she was never getting him back, about going to Kevin's apartment after abandoning Nathan, about getting high, about overdosing 3 days later, waking up in a hospital, getting arrested, about court-mandated rehab, 18 months, getting sober in November 2003, about the years that followed, working as a custodian, then a peer counselor, getting her license in 2010, meeting Tim in 2013, about wanting to contact Nathan but not knowing how, Dorothy's restraining order, the fear, the shame, about watching him from fake Facebook accounts for 6 years, saving photos, tracking his life from a distance, about seeing that he was getting married, about seeing that the bride's family wasn't coming, about recognizing the parallel. "I saw her walking alone," Joanna said, voice shaking. "And I thought about you. 8 years old, alone at that bus station, and I couldn't let you stand there alone again." Nathan's jaw was clenched so tight it hurt. "You don't get to fix this by showing up 23 years later." "I know. You left me at a bus station. Do you understand what that did to me?" "I do now. I didn't then. I was too broken to understand." August 23rd, 2002. Gate 6, 2:15 p.m. "I waited 41 minutes before I asked for help. I thought you were sick in the bathroom. I thought you were coming back." "I know. You left me a note on a Dunkin' Donuts napkin." "I know. You overdosed 3 days later." "I did." Nathan stood, overwhelmed. I can't do this right now. It's my wedding day. He started walking away, stopped, turned back. Were you going to leave? After the ceremony? I was planning to. Don't. Joanna's eyes widened. What? Don't leave. I'm not ready to talk, but don't leave. He walked away. Back to the reception. Back to Serena. Back to his life. Joanna sat on those steps and cried until Tim helped her to the car. He said, "Don't leave," she whispered. He said, "Don't leave," Tim confirmed. What does that mean? It means maybe there's a chance. The reception continued until 11 p.m. dancing, laughter, cake cutting, bouquet toss, except Serena didn't toss it. "I'm keeping this," she announced. "This bouquet walked down the aisle with me when no one else would. It's staying with me." Applause. Understanding. At 9:30, Serena checked her phone. 3 missed calls. Mom. 1 voicemail. She played it on speaker. Nathan listening. Carolyn's voice, tight and fake concerned. "Serena, it's Mom. We heard about what happened at your wedding. Your cousin Lily posted on Facebook. We need to talk. Call us back." Serena looked at Nathan. They heard. Everyone has a phone. Should I call back? Do you want to? Serena thought, then deleted the voicemail, blocked the number. Not tonight. Tonight is ours. What happened next changed everything. At 4:38 p.m., while Nathan and Serena were cutting their cake, Travis Coleman, one of Nathan's union brothers, uploaded a video to TikTok. 47 seconds long. The caption, "Bride walks alone. Door opens. Groom collapses. His mom, who abandoned him 23 years ago, just showed up. Hashtag wedding drama. Hashtag real life. Hashtag you can't make this up." 2 minutes, 38 views. 5 minutes, 312 views. 10 minutes, 1,847 views. Travis's wife looked at his phone. "Travis, it's taking off." By midnight, 89,000 views. By morning, 3.8 million. 13 other guests had also uploaded videos. Different angles. Close-up of Nathan's face. Wide shot showing the empty seats on the bride's side. Audio-focused version catching, "You left me at a bus station clearly." The videos spread. TikTok, Instagram Reels, Facebook, Twitter, Reddit. March 29th, 2:15 a.m. Someone posted to r/wedding shaming, "I was at this wedding. Bride's entire family boycotted because groom is just an electrician. His mother, who abandoned him as a kid, showed up. He fell to his knees. I have never witnessed anything like this." AMA. 2,834 upvotes. 892 comments. March 29th, 8:12 a.m. "Good morning," America's producer emailed Serena's public Instagram. "We'd love to have you on the show." March 29th, late morning. Nathan and Serena were at a small Airbnb on Cape Cod. Mini honeymoon. Both phones on airplane mode since the wedding night. They turned on Wi-Fi to check the weather. The flood began. 247 missed calls, over 1,000 texts. Instagram flooded, Facebook overwhelmed. Serena stared at her phone. "Nathan, we're everywhere." Nathan looked at his. Travis posted a video. It has 28 million views. Million? "We're on the news. We're trending on Twitter. There's a hashtag." He showed her. Hashtag wedding mom return. The comments. The bride's parents boycotted because his mom had problems. But his mom, who knows she messed up, showed up anyway. The perfect parents stayed home. Make it make sense. 847,000 likes. Right? They judged him for being abandoned. Like he chose to be left at a bus station at 8 years old. These parents are actual monsters. 412,000 likes. Imagine calling someone garbage and worthless because his mother was an addict. Then his mother shows up in recovery proving people can change. And you're at home looking like the real trash. 298,000 likes. Articles were already publishing. BuzzFeed. This bride's parents called her groom trash and boycotted the wedding. What his dead mother did next will destroy you. HuffPost. Viral wedding video sparks conversation about class, addiction, and forgiveness. Psychology Today. What the Wedding Mom video teaches us about shame and redemption. Emails from Today Show, Inside Edition, People Magazine, Local News. What do we do? Serena asked. Nathan put his phone down. Nothing. We're on our honeymoon. The world can wait. They tried. They really did. But the messages kept coming. Friends, co-workers, strangers, and one message that made Serena's hands shake. Kelly, your parents are getting roasted online, like destroyed. Just FYI. March 29th, 7:22 a.m. Springfield, Massachusetts. Raymond Brown's phone buzzed on his nightstand. Early for a Saturday. He grabbed it, annoyed. Text from Gary, their neighbor and country club friend. Ray, isn't this Serena's wedding? It's all over Facebook. Link attached. Raymond clicked it. Travis Coleman's video, the original. Now at 18.4 million views just on TikTok. Raymond watched, hand over his mouth. Serena, walking alone, looking beautiful and heartbroken. The door opening. Nathan collapsing. Mom? The video ended. Raymond stumbled out of bed, woke Carolyn. You need to see this. They sat on their bed together, Pottery Barn furniture in their comfortable suburban home, and watched their daughter's wedding on a stranger's phone. Watched her walk alone. Watched the empty seats. Watched the groom fall apart. Oh my God, Carolyn whispered. That's her. That's Serena. She's alone. Raymond, she's completely alone. That's his mother? Raymond stared. The addict? Carolyn scrolled to the comments. Her face went white. Raymond, they're talking about us. Who? Everyone, look. The comments weren't subtle. Bride's parents boycotted because groom's mom was an addict. Groom's mom showed up sober after 23 years. Bride's parents didn't show up after 28 years of being her parents. Who failed who? These parents are actual monsters. They called him damaged goods and stayed home. Meanwhile, the woman who actually damaged him showed up to make it right. The irony. I hope Serena's parents see this and realize they're the trash they accused him of being. Someone had found Mitchell's Facebook, Audrey's Instagram, started commenting, "Your sister walked alone and you weren't there? Shame on you. Family boycotts are abuse. You're complicit." Carolyn started crying. We need to call her. Raymond was scrolling. The video was everywhere. Multiple platforms. Combined views approaching 30 million. And say what? Sorry we missed your viral wedding? This is going to affect all of us. Mitchell's job. Audrey's reputation. The country club. The country club. Raymond repeated hollowly. That's what you're worried about? People are calling us monsters, Raymond. They're saying we're the real trash. He looked at his wife. At this woman he'd built a life with. Climbed together from working-class childhoods to comfortable middle-class security. Protected that security viciously. Too viciously. Maybe we are, he said quietly. 8 days passed. Nathan and Serena stayed on Cape Cod for 5 days. Turned off their phones. Tried to be newlyweds. Returned to their Somerville apartment April 1st. The viral storm had settled to a dull roar. 42.3 million combined views. News cycle moved on. But the damage was done. Serena's parents didn't call during the honeymoon. Giving space, they claimed later. Really. Shame. Mitchell sent a text April 2nd. I saw the video. I should have been there. I'm sorry. Serena didn't respond. Audrey sent one too. I'm so sorry we weren't there. Mom and Dad are a mess. They know they messed up. Please call when you're ready. Serena read it to Nathan. Are you ready? He asked. No. April 5th. Serena's phone rang. Mom. She stared at it. Let it ring out. Voicemail. She didn't listen. April 6th, 2:30 p.m. Phone rang again. Mom. This time, Serena answered. Serena, honey, it's Mom. Serena's voice was flat. I know. We saw what happened at your wedding. You mean you saw the video, since you weren't actually there? Carolyn flinched audibly. We need to talk about that. Do we? We made a mistake. Serena laughed, bitter. A mistake is sending the wrong RSVP. You boycotted my wedding. Background noise. Raymond's breathing. He was on speakerphone. We're sorry, Serena, Raymond said. Are you? Or are you sorry you look bad? Silence. Carolyn tried again. We thought we were protecting you. Stop. Serena's voice was ice. Don't. Mom, you called Nathan trash. You called him garbage. You said he was worthless. You said I was better than him. You told Mitchell and Audrey not to come. You sent the invitation back with one word, no. That wasn't protection. That was cruelty. We were worried about your future, Carolyn tried. His background. His background? He was abandoned as a child. That's not a character flaw. That's trauma he survived. We know that now. You knew it then. You chose not to care. Silence. Long. Painful. Carolyn was crying now. Real or performative? Serena couldn't tell. Can we see you? To apologize properly? I don't know if I want to see you. More silence. Please, Carolyn whispered. Serena closed her eyes, took a breath. If you want back in my life, here's how it works. Family therapy. With me and Nathan, you don't get to have a relationship with me that doesn't include him. You go to therapy and actually work on why you did this. And you don't get opinions on my marriage anymore. You gave up that right. That seems harsh, Carolyn said. You boycotted my wedding because you thought I was marrying beneath me. Harsh is thinking your daughter's worth is tied to her husband's job title. Raymond spoke. We'll do whatever you want. I'll text you a therapist's name. You book the appointment. First session is you, me, Nathan, and Dr. Rivera. If you don't show, we're done. We'll be there, Carolyn said. We'll see. Serena hung up. Nathan came home at 6:45, found her on the couch, drained. They called? She told him everything. Do you think they'll actually show up to therapy? He asked. I don't know. Part of me hopes they don't. Why did you give them the chance? Because they're my parents. And because if I don't, I'll always wonder if they could have changed. Nathan pulled her close. And if they don't change, then I'll know. And I can move on without guilt. Meanwhile, Nathan had made his own decision. April 2nd, 5 days after the wedding. He stared at a phone number. Joanna's. Tim had passed it through Connor, who'd passed it to Nathan. Serena watched him. Should I call her? He asked. Do you want to? I don't know. What if she wants things I can't give? Then you tell her no. Nathan picked up the phone, put it down, repeated this 3 times. This is insane. 5 days ago, I thought she was dead to me. Now I'm nervous to call my own mother. Finally, at 8:47 p.m., he texted, It's Nathan, can we meet? Delivered. Read 8:48 p.m. Typing indicator appeared, disappeared, appeared again. 2 minutes passed. Finally. Yes. Anytime. Anywhere. Thank you. April 5th, 10 a.m. Dunkin' Donuts on Route 1 in Norwood, halfway between Boston and Providence. Nathan arrived at 9:52. Early. Nervous. Joanna arrived at 9:54. Also early. They ordered coffee. Both black. Both barely touched. Sat in a corner booth. Orange plastic seats. Sticky table. Couldn't make eye contact at first. Thank you for agreeing to meet, Joanna said. Nathan's voice was stiff. I almost didn't come. I wouldn't have blamed you. Silence. I don't know what to say to you, Nathan admitted. You don't have to say anything. I can talk. Or we can sit in silence. Whatever you need. Nathan looked at her. Really looked. She looked older than 51. Hard-earned years. Sober years. Why did you really come to the wedding? The truth. Joanna didn't hesitate. I've watched you from fake Facebook accounts for 6 years. I know that's creepy. I know I had no right. But I needed to know you were okay. You could have just asked. After Grandma died, you could have sent a letter. I wrote 63 letters. Never sent one. What do you say to the child you abandoned? There are no words. She pulled a folded paper from her purse, showed him. Letter dated October 2020. Dear Nathan, I don't expect you to read this. Nathan didn't read it, handed it back. Did you ever want to come back? When I was a kid? Joanna's tears fell. Every day. But I was too broken, and Dorothy was right to keep me away. Nathan's jaw clenched. You left me at a bus station. I did. Gate 6, Worcester Greyhound, August 23rd, 2002, 2:15 p.m. I remember. You gave me a Snickers bar, king size. I did. You said wait here. I did. I waited 41 minutes. Joanna covered her face, sobbing now. Nathan kept going, needed her to hear it. A woman named Brenda helped me. She found your note, Dunkin' Donuts napkin. I can't be the mom you need. That's all you left me. I know. Grandma picked me up 3 hours later. First thing she said, you're staying with me now. For good. I know. She worked 2 jobs to raise me. 61 years old and she started over. I know. Nathan's hands were shaking. And you? What did you do after you left me? Joanna looked at him. I went to my boyfriend's apartment, got high, overdosed 3 days later, woke up in a hospital, got arrested, went to rehab, got sober 14 months after I abandoned you. 14 months. November 2003. Nathan did the math. I was 10. You'd been sober for 2 years and you never came back. Dorothy had a restraining order. I couldn't. You could have tried. You're right. I could have fought harder. I didn't. I was too ashamed. Silence. Long. Painful. Nathan spoke quietly. I'm angry. I'm going to be angry for a long time. You don't get to rush me through that. I won't. And you don't get to be mom. Grandma was my mom. You're Joanna. Joanna nodded, tears streaming. Okay. I'm seeing a therapist, Dr. Paul Chen. You're going to come to sessions with me. Anything you need. And if I need space, you give it to me. No guilt trips. I promise. Nathan stood. Conversation over. Can I ask one thing? Joanna said. Nathan waited. Is there anything good you remember? From before? Nathan paused, thought. Saturday mornings, he said finally. Sometimes you'd be clean for a week or two. You'd make pancakes, chocolate chip. We'd watch cartoons. You'd braid my hair. He touched his short hair. I used to have it longer. Joanna smiled through tears. I remember. I used to call you my little man. Then you'd disappear again, and I'd eat cereal for a week. But those Saturday mornings, I held on to those. I'm sorry I couldn't give you more of them. I know. Nathan walked to the door, stopped, turned. Joanna. She looked up. Thank you for coming to the wedding. He left. Joanna sat there for 20 minutes, crying into her cold coffee. May 10th, 2026, Dr. Angela Rivera's office, Cambridge, 3:52 p.m. Raymond and Carolyn arrived 8 minutes early. Sat in the waiting room, nervous. Nathan and Serena arrived at 3:58. On time. Power move. Serena, honey. Carolyn started to stand. Serena stepped back. Let's save it for inside. Raymond extended his hand to Nathan. Nathan. Nathan shook it. Firm. Raymond. No small talk. Dr. Rivera's door opened. Come in. Her office was warm but professional. Chairs arranged in a circle. Tissue box in the center. Dr. Rivera, 42. Latina. Kind but no nonsense. Ground rules, she said. No interrupting. No defending. Just listening. Can you do that? Raymond and Carolyn nodded. Serena, this is your session. Where do you want to start? Serena had prepared. Index card with notes. I sent you 68 invitations. You sent back 3. No. 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 You didn't just decline. You told Mitchell and Audrey not to come. You made it clear that my choice, my husband, was unacceptable to you. Carolyn started to speak. Dr. Rivera held up a hand. No defending. Listen. Serena continued. The worst part wasn't you not coming. It was knowing you chose pride over me. Her voice didn't waver. She'd cried enough. Dr. Rivera turned to Raymond and Carolyn. Respond. Raymond started with excuses. We thought we were protecting you. We didn't understand. We come from a generation where stability means... Dr. Rivera interrupted. What you're describing is classism. Raymond stopped. Did you ask Serena if she felt she was struggling? No. Did you ask Nathan about his life, his business, his plans? No. So you judged without information? Yes. Carolyn was crying. Dr. Rivera looked at her. What are the tears about? I feel terrible. Terrible that you hurt her? Or terrible that you look bad? Direct hit. Carolyn couldn't answer. Dr. Rivera leaned forward. Would you have called Serena if the video hadn't gone viral? Silence. Carolyn? I don't know. Raymond? Probably not as soon. So your motivation to repair isn't guilt over the hurt. It's embarrassment over exposure. Serena's bitter laugh. Of course it is. They didn't care that I walked alone. They cared that 28 million people saw me walk alone. That's not fair, Carolyn said defensively. Fair? Serena's voice sharpened. You want to talk about fair? Dr. Rivera raised a hand. Carolyn, can you take responsibility without qualification? Silence. I'm going to ask you to do something hard. Apologize. A real apology. No but. No, we thought. Just accountability. Carolyn tried. Serena, I'm sorry we didn't come to your wedding. I'm sorry we judged Nathan. I'm sorry we hurt you. Pause. But. No but, Dr. Rivera said. Carolyn restarted. I'm sorry. Broke down crying. Raymond went next. I'm sorry. I was wrong. I let my pride control me, and I lost my daughter's biggest day. Serena looked at him. Do you even know what day it was? What date? Raymond panicked. March 28th? Yes. Do you know what time? What I wore? Who was there? No. Because you weren't there. You don't get to retroactively care. The session continued for 90 minutes. Dr. Rivera assigned homework. Raymond and Carolyn had to write letters, separate ones, to both Serena and Nathan, explaining their assumptions, apologizing without defense, outlining behavior changes, due before the next session, May 24th. They agreed. Exited separately. Parking lot. Carolyn to Raymond. We really screwed up. I know. 6 weeks after the wedding. Early May. Life was settling into a new shape. Nathan and Joanna met 4 times, all at the same Dunkin' Donuts, ritual forming. Their conversations grew easier, still guarded, still painful, but less raw. May 12th. 4th meeting. Joanna brought a photo album. Nathan as a baby, toddler, young child, before the chaos. This was your second birthday, she said, pointing. Chocolate cake all over your face. Nathan stared. I don't remember this. I know. I stole those memories from you. You did. Pause. But thank you for showing me now. Can I keep this? The album? Joanna's face crumpled. It's yours. It always was. Serena's parents attended their second therapy session, brought the homework letters. Dr. Rivera read them aloud. They were better, more honest, less defensive. I thought Serena marrying an electrician meant she was settling. I realize now I was projecting my own insecurities about class onto her choice. Raymond. I was terrified of being associated with dysfunction because I grew up poor and fought so hard to escape it. I punished Nathan for something his mother did, not for who he is. Carolyn progress. Slow. Tentative. May 15th. Brunch with Serena's parents. Neutral restaurant. Awkward. Raymond and Carolyn tried too hard, asked surface questions, avoided depth. Nathan spoke directly. I know you're sorry. Question is whether you're sorry enough to actually change. Silence. Serena ended the meal. I read your letters. They were better. More honest. So we can try again. Slowly. Very slowly. Carolyn looked hopeful. So we can... Probation. Serena interrupted. You're on probation. Minimum 6 months. You show up when I ask. You leave when I ask. And you earn back trust through actions, not words. May 18th. Evening. Providence Harbor. Nathan, Serena, Joanna, and Tim. First time Tim met Nathan. They walked along the water. Coffee cups in hand. Casual conversation about small things. Weather. Tim's contracting work. Joanna's clients. Your mom talks about you every day, Tim said to Nathan. Has for years. That must have been annoying. Tim laughed. No, it meant she never gave up. Joanna looked at Nathan. Tim's been patient with me, with my guilt. Guilt is good, Nathan said. It means you care. As the sun set, Tim offered to take a photo. Nathan, Serena, Joanna. Aki.